What's going on, Tone Nerds? We're here to talk about the Dallas Guitar Show. We're coming off of our high from last weekend, and we're ready to talk a little bit about it.
Man, you are not kidding. I have been reliving all the moments in the guitar show the last week.
Yeah.
It was tough. I'm not going to lie, man. Monday was tough. Number one, I was really tired.
Yep.
But number two, like, you're just going back into like spreadsheets and conference calls and like real life.
The norm.
So sad. I felt like Superman last weekend, and then Monday rolled around and I put the glasses back on and
back to
now I'm Clark Kent. Yeah, beat reporter.
How do I just go back to work on Monday?
I know, man. I know.
Yeah.
Like,
so I feel that.
Honestly, I thought I would be like super stoked. I felt like my order of like excitement going in was the gear, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is going to be there? There's going to be so many cool vendors. Number two was the artists. Like, man, this is going to be great. And go see Mark Lettieri, go see Andy Timmons. And then number three was just like, hey, maybe we can network a little bit too. But I feel like as the show transpired, number three, the people part, the networking part was my favorite.
Yeah, it was fun to reach out and get to just talk to people.
Yeah, just so many cool people. And it's like, you know, they're all into the same thing you're into for the most part, you know. But they're just all really cool. Everybody's happy because they're all at the guitar show. You know, they're like, we're exactly the place they want to be at.
Dude, the guitar show is filled with such nerds, and I love it. Like,
and I'm one of them.
Yeah, well, we all are. You can literally just walk up to it. It's the one place where you can just walk up to a complete stranger and be like, yo, what gear you rocking? And they're like, you know, just like I've been waiting for somebody to ask me about, like, people would roll up to the booth and like I'd just go, so what you play? And they'd be like, like
they
finally,
rubbing their hands.
Yeah, someone's interested in the thing that I'm interested, and they would just go off and they'd be like, sorry, I could talk about this forever, and I'm like,
keep going.
Yeah, you're among friends.
Yeah. So the people were great. I had so much fun. And, you know, like, everybody was really cool.
Yeah.
Which, you know, sometimes you never know what to expect of that. Are they going to be, you know, like, what are the artists going to be like? Are they going to be, like, you know, standoffish a little bit? But, man, they were great. So great. So, yeah, as it transpired, like I said, the networking part was my favorite part. I say networking. All I was doing was just making new friends.
Yeah, just meeting people, yeah.
Yeah, just making new friends. So that was fun. The gear was probably number two. And sadly, I mean, not that I wasn't excited and didn't enjoy the artist, but we were so busy all weekend just doing booth stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, going around filming some remote stuff that I didn't really have a lot of time to go.
I didn't get to see anybody.
I didn't get to see Mark Lettieri, man.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see Andy Timmons. I popped in and I checked out Larry Mitchell for a little bit. And then I went and saw Danny Giosa for a little bit too. I think that may have been it. So that sucks. And then next year, I need to budget my time a little better and do better there. That's so fair. I apologize, guys.
No, yeah, I feel that. Same. I think number one for me was the gear. I really love just looking around and like nerding out about stuff that I didn't know. You know, like we got to talk with the folks over at TV Jones. We got to talk to TV Jones from TV Jones.
TV himself.
And man, what a wealth of knowledge that guy was.
Oh my goodness,
I'm sitting there and I'm just like, please tell me more. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. And I think that with the guitar show, it really is a celebration of just electric guitar and really guitar culture. You know? Like everything about it, the artists, the gear, the conversations, there's just like a sense of, and just the show itself, it's the oldest and largest guitar show in the world. And you just kind of feel that sense of history when you're there as you're talking to people and just hanging out. You see Jimmy Wallace
just
hanging out at his booth. I mean, like, Larry Mitchell's just walking up and down the aisle as you see him here and there. Like, it's incredible, man. Yeah. What a crazy experience that was.
We went to go get, like, nachos, and we're like, is that Andy Timmons? Yeah. Like, I think that's it. He, like, walked past us
right by Andy Timmons.
And we're like, oh.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many. I feel like there's... The problem with Andy Timmons coming to a guitar show like that is there's a bunch of like aspiring Andy Timmons is there too. They like have this similar look with the hair and the get up. Yeah. Like, you know, he has a lot of fans there that, you know, emulate his style. I think, were you the one telling me that you You thought you saw Marcus King
I
there?
could have sworn I saw Marcus King, but I'm like, I think that just might be a fan of Marcus King.
Yeah, exactly.
You can tell, like, that was another thing. One of my favorite things is just like people watch, right?
Yes.
'Cause on one hand, you have the like metalheads walking around, and you're like, it's like all leather, all jeans, long hair, tattered shirts, and stuff like that. And then you have like from that all the way to like the dads in like the Hawaiian Gretsch shirt, and like just all levels of fandom. And then you have the people like the Stevie Ray, just like fans with the hats and the chains and
doing the whole yeah.
So it's just cool to see like on like one instrument creating such a large culture, and such a vast and diverse culture of just like people just having fun. It's pretty sweet.
Love it, man. That's what I'm saying. It's just like a celebration of all things guitar. It was so great. But let's circle back to TV Jones right quick.
Absolutely.
Number one, you're right. The guy is a treasure trove of knowledge about pickups. Anything you can ever think of about the history of pickups, the anatomy of pickups, all the components. Like he knew everything. He was just spitting crazy knowledge. And we actually posted a video on YouTube of us interviewing him in his booth. And I got a comment today, and I just want to share it with you because I was very perplexed. So
take us there.
The comment was, and I may mess this up. I may not get it, verbatim, but it was essentially, it's all smoke screens and snake oil. So, just to be clear, I assume the guy was saying that guitar pickups, are smoke screens and snake oil. So my comment back, and I'm still waiting for a response, is, well, okay, if pickups don't matter, then what does matter?
Yeah.
Because everything I've ever heard is like pickups are really the primary thing that matters.
Yeah. Tonewood is hogwash.
Yeah.
I'll go out.
That's highly contested.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Fight me in the comments. On an electric guitar, I mean, unless you're using straight up plywood. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's,
Oh, man, even that.
Like, because look at, like, go online, you can find somebody playing a shovel.
Yes. With pickups on it.
With pickups on it. And I'm like, dude.
And it sounds great.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I will concede this, because I'm kind of with you, like, as far as the Tonewood thing goes, I think. I'm not, like, dogmatic about it.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, you've seen videos online of people just playing randomest things. But
it's like I'm playing a microwave.
Yeah, right. And it's like, and it sounds like an electric guitar, But Will Ash, who he is at the Malibu Music booth right across from us at the show. A shout out to Will. One of the things he did say, I think it was him. Maybe I'm attributing it to the wrong person. I think it was Will, but he said, yes, on an acoustic guitar, though, like everything makes a difference. Yes. But an electric guitar, probably not. But there is something to be said about the way it feels against your body. You feeling the vibration of the body. Like all those things go into, like playing with confidence and like, so it's a little bit like.
It matters.
Maybe,
in tone,
it's not tangible so much, but I think there are some intangible aspects of it that I think are legit.
I think that's a real thing. I've definitely played some guitars, like, let's say you take like a cheap guitar, drop some nice pickups in it. It still feels like a cheap guitar. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, case in point, your Epiphone, right?
Yeah. So sometimes it can be just like super light, and it's just like it just doesn't feel sturdy, there's almost this weight where the guitar feels like it's fighting you back when you like play on the strings and stuff like that. So yeah, I can concede that for sure, and definitely on an acoustic guitar, the wood definitely 100%. Matters the way it circulates and like the warmth of certain woods and stuff like that. But I mean, if you took a Les Paul and you made a Les Paul but out of a different wood with the same pickups, I feel like maybe there's a change, but probably minute in like you got to really be listening.
Yeah. Well, I actually had a vintage Gibson Les Paul back in the day. I had a 1977 wine red deluxe. It was so pretty, and I sold it, sadly. But I was actually shocked. I needed to get some fretwork done on it, and I took it into the guy who ended up building that telly right there, Ron Luzak, and I told him, yeah, it's a 77. And he took a look at it, and he's like, yeah, man, like when the 70s hit, Gibson quality just kind of went down the drain. And he showed me, like, on this guitar, he like held it up, so like, yeah, you see, like, this is like 5 pieces of wood glued together to make the body. I was like, oh man, but it sounded good, you know.
Yeah, right. Does it make a difference?
Good. I don't think it did, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, feel free to leave a comment.
Fight us. Fight us in the comments.
Are you a Tonewood bro, or are you riding with us on that one? Let's find out.
I say electric guitar.
Yeah.
Pickups matter.
Yeah. So let's talk. We talked about TV Jones. Let's talk some other vendors.
Okay.
Some vendors. Okay. First off, huge shout out to Tone Locker. Our guys at Tone Locker graciously invited us out to hang out in their booth for the entire weekend. It was a big weekend for them too. It was the launch of their brand new app. So check it out. It actually is per invite code only. So it's still invite code. Everybody at the guitar show had an invite code. And to get an invite code now, Ruben, you actually have to get one from an existing Tone Locker account user. So it'll be like that for a little while.
Okay.
Just have some guardrails in place.
Got to be invited. Invite only.
That's right. This is exclusive.
Yeah.
So maybe holler at the Tone Nerds and we'll give you our invite code. Yeah. Maybe. But yeah, so they were having a good time. I think they got a lot of sign-ups, a lot of good traction, and they're giving away a ridiculously nice guitar. It's actually
3 of them.
Yeah, they're giving away, whoever the winner is gets to pick one of 3. And we talked about that on a previous episode, but it's a Les Paul Custom, a 96 Les Paul Custom, I think 68 reissue. Nice. Yeah, it was the Duesenberg TV Phonic.
Beautiful
which,
guitar.
by the way, is the same guitar that Eric Johansson plays, and he was at the guitar show last weekend. Yeah. And the third one was a PRS 509, I think.
I don't know, but it was pretty.
Yeah, it was 509. So the drawings are in on that. Unfortunately, that was guitar show only. So if you're just finding out about that, sorry, you missed out. But I don't know when that drawing's going to be. I need to follow up with the guys. But
I got to say, Tone Lock, like I actually spent some time on the app. It's pretty sweet. It almost feels like guitar Instagram.
It is. It's
very much like guitar Instagram, or just gear Instagram.
Yeah.
I can definitely see myself doom scrolling through Tone Locker.
Yes.
Looking at pictures of guitars. Man. It's essentially a continuation of the guitar show. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's exciting. And talking to Cameron, who's the creator of Tone Locker, there's a lot of really cool stuff coming down the pipeline on that. So yeah, I mean, if you can get an invite code, reach out to us. We can hook you up with that. Get in Tone Locker and let's start building community inside the locker.
Let's talk tone.
Yeah, let's talk tone all day long. So yeah, a huge shout out to Tone Locker. Next, Ruben, is an upstart pedal company.
Yes.
York Electronics. Give a shout out to Ian York at York Electronics, man. I feel like, and maybe I'm just biased because I heard all the conversation. The pedal rips. So just for context, Ian York at York Electronics dropped his very first drive pedal at the Dallas Guitar Show
with us at the booth.
With us at the Tone Locker booth at the Tone Nerds table, and we had 10 of them, and we left the show with 1. Yeah, we just have 1 left, and it's actually right over here.
Dude, it's because they were fire, man. Everybody who nobody who played that pedal was like, everybody who played it was like, this is great.
Hey, that's it right there. The Royal Pain. So
yeah, it's just such a versatile pedal. With the internal dip switches and stuff like that. Like we had 2 of them. We had one that was like the clean boost and a distortion, and then we had the other one, same pedal, but with the dip switches changed.
Clean boost and overdrive.
Overdrive, and both people were just like, I like them both, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of the point.
Yeah, man, they cook, and like you said, anybody that's actually played one, I think pretty much everybody bought. Everybody that played it bought it. Yeah. Dusty Greg actually had one at his booth, and we got a lot of foot traffic because people were trying at Greg Guitars, really dug the pedal, and they came to, hey, Dusty said you guys had that pedal at your booth. Can I check it out? I was like, heck yeah, man. So we sold a few of them that way. But we got one left. So if you guys want to pick one up, shoot us a message. First come, first serve on that. Ian will be putting up more of them. I think he's working on ramping up production for phase 2 now. But how cool would it be to get like an OG first run Royal Pain?
And support local and, well, for us not local because he's not Texas, but just like smaller pedal builders. Like,
absolutely.
When I've played probably the last like 3 or 4 pedals that we've gotten from people who aren't from big name brands, they've been really good.
Yes.
And I'm like, why am I spending like $400 on like when other people are making pedals that are like just as good?
Great.
You know? And
innovative. I mean, I love it. I love what Ian did with the Royal Pain. I mean, you mentioned other small builders, Madsen, Amps, just make some really cool stuff. I love it. Yeah. So support the small builders for sure. Nothing wrong with owning a JHS or a Keeley for sure.
I have many.
Yeah. But support the little guys too. Yeah. And you get a great deal. This pedal, dual overdrive, it's 2 pedals in one, $150. So hit us up.
Yeah. Pretty sweet.
Yeah. Pretty sweet. All right. So that's York. So shout out to Ian. Let's talk about John freaking Page.
John freaking Page.
Yes.
The freaking was the Guitar Show version that they could put on the shirt.
Right.
That was allowed to put on the shirt.
Yeah, I think Brian at the booth said, "Yeah, this is what we put on these shirts so we can sell it to the church guys."
Yeah, there you go. We can sell these to kids. Yeah. We can sell the originals.
Right. So John freaking Page, man. So for those who don't know, and I did not know this. Yeah. John Page was one of the I could be getting my facts wrong, but I believe he's like one of the like founding members of the Fender Custom Shop. He's no longer with Fender now. He actually lives in Oregon, like in the woods, and it comes to town like once a month. Yeah,
and we caught him on.
And we caught him. Yep. That's right, in Dallas. So really cool guy, and he actually has his own line of custom guitars now, John Page Guitars.
Yep.
So
and they're fantastic, and again another wealth of knowledge.
Yes.
His just the details in his like guitar. He talked about the telly bridge, and he's like, I really always wanted to put the telly bridges facing the other way, but Fender would never let me because like, it's just tradition. But then he started explaining, I'm like, that actually makes so much more sense. It'll tighten up the low end, fatten up the thinner strings. Yeah. And like all those little details are just things that he's just making those decisions now because he's like, I just make a guitar how I want to make it.
However he wants to make it. That's right.
Sweet.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. So they were awesome. Prismatone. I know you didn't get a chance to check out Prismatone.
No, I didn't.
That was a pickup company, and they make pickups that are similar to like the pickup in Willie Nelson's Trigger.
Okay.
It's like they have to actually modify the bridge on your acoustic guitar to install them, and they're primarily for classical guitars.
Interesting.
But yeah, really cool. I was talking to, I wish I remembered his name at the booth, but he's giving me a history lesson on it, and it was in Willie Nelson's Baldwin, and then his Baldwin got stepped on, and then that's when he got Trigger, and he wanted to install the same pickup out of his old guitar and Trigger. There's a whole story behind that. Yeah. But Prismatone is basically recreating those types of pickups, which is really cool. Braxtone music boxes. Braxtone. They were the amp maker out of Dallas. They were in Dallas. Where were they?
Their logo. Was it like Fort Worth, something like that? But first of all, initially the just look of the amp. That's just really cool look.
Yeah,
it just drew me. I was like, oh, that would be sick in my office, kind of thing. And, but yeah, very cool amps, kind of local Texas folks, and it was cool meeting them.
Yeah. So one vendor that we have to talk about is Drew Berlin. I don't know did you get a chance to go by the booth that had the DUMBLE?
We walked by it and it was just like, oh hey, there's the DUMBLE. And I was just like, oh yeah. but I didn't get to talk to anybody.
Man, that was such a cool booth. I mean, I think pretty much all the gear in that booth was like more expensive than my house.
Yeah.
Like that's not an exexaggeration.
That's not an exaggeration.
Yeah, the DUMBLE was like one of the cheaper things. It was like $260,000. They had a couple of 50s Les Pauls. One of them was a gold top, and it was like the really dark gold, because all the copper in there had oxidized over the years, so it looks so nice.
Yeah.
But the most expensive instrument of the booth was a 50s Cherry Sunburst Les Paul.
Mm-hmm.
It was $400,000, I think. So, yeah.
Imagine just walking into a guitar show, knowing like, I'm gonna just buy that guitar.
Yeah.
Like, I got it like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just buy a $400,000 guitar. Yes, please.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Well, so I was actually talking to the guys at the booth, and they said that, because I asked them, I was like, do you sell these at these guitar shows? And they said, not typically, but people start talking, like somebody comes to the show, they find out you have a DUMBLE, they're friends with Joe Bonamassa, like, hey Joe, there's a DUMBLE, or whoever, So that's typically the way it works, I think, for a lot of the vendors there. I'm not gonna say all of them because I didn't talk to all of them, but the ones I did talk to, that's kind of
that makes sense.
Yeah. Let's see. Last shout out I'm going to give is Jam Magazine. So this is a Dallas-based music publication.
Okay.
And the guy who owns it now, his name is Michael. I'm going to mess up his last name. But shout out to Michael at Jam Magazine. He had he's like a music historian, guitar historian. He showed me, he had all these old like pictures from these artists back in the day. He actually had these pictures of like Jimi Hendrix at this show back in the late 60s that nobody even knew until a few years ago. Nobody even knew these pictures were in existence. So there was like this he told me the whole story about this bidding war between these people, like Jimi Hendrix estate and like these other people that wanted these pictures, and like he pulled them out and showed them to me. It's like just seeing that piece of history is really cool. So, but Michael was a good dude. He had a great head of hair too. So
that's wild. Imagine like Jimi Hendrix estate.
Yeah.
These pictures that I have, I'm not gonna give it to him. I got them.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
So, man, the vendors were so great. And then lastly, we can talk quickly about the artists at the guitar show. I'll just give you like my top 5. And this is people that, unfortunately, like we said earlier, I didn't get a chance to see them perform, at least some of them, but got to meet them all, hang out with them, and just really great dudes. That was like so much fun. To start off, Larry Mitchell, the legend Larry Mitchell, who I found out he's an incredible guitar player, but that's really not what he's known for. He's a producer, and he's a Grammy-winning producer.
Wow.
So but you would never know it, man. The guy is just super humble, super nice. He came and hung out at our booth. He was stopping, taking pictures with everybody. Just a good dude, great musician, all around great human. So Larry Mitchell's number 1. Number 2, Eric Johansson. Have you heard of Eric Johansson?
I've seen him on our Instagram.
Oh yeah. Okay. Eric's dude. He's got. I really like his music. I'm all in on Eric Johansson now.
Sweet. Yeah,
so
check it out.
Yeah. So he actually stopped by our booth, and the Duesenberg that Tone Locker was giving away caught his eye. He was like, "Hey, I play one just like that." And Cameron was like, "Yes, you do."
Yeah, we stole it. No, I'm just kidding.
So yeah, then
we stole it from
him. Right. It's actually yours. Right. So he was a cool dude. Got a chance to talk to him a little bit, talk about his rig. So really excited to get to know him, and I think we're gonna have an opportunity to collaborate with him in the future, which will be fun. Mark Lettieri,
dude,
talk about it, Ruben.
Man, it's no secret I'm a huge Mark Lettieri fan, and I've met him in just at his shows and different things. But it was cool to sit down and talk gear, what's on his board, and stuff like that. And I gotta say, he's got a very healthy relationship with gear. I feel like usually when I talk to folks, is very strong opinions, one of the questions I asked him was if you weren't playing your signature guitar, what? And usually that initiates Telly's all the way, or Les Paul. And he was like, sometimes I play a Telly, sometimes I play a Les Paul, sometimes I play a. He's like, I can kind of just make whatever work.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, that's a healthy relationship with gear.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're not.
And that also means you can play really well, and you're not blaming it on your gear. So it was kind of cool to talk, just pick his brain about what's on his board and stuff like
totally.
that.
That was fun. There was a lot of J Rocket products on his board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So shout out to him. Thanks for stopping by. And there was a time crunch playing and stuff like that. So appreciate the time.
So next is Brandon Callies. So Brandon and I we have been running sort of in like the same circles, but never really met each other. So I was excited to meet him this weekend at the show. He has a Brandon Callies band, so he's a singer-songwriter. He also is getting ready to go on tour with Braden Stewart, who's a new guy on the, I don't know what you call it. I would say, I'm not going to limit him to just like Texas, red dirt, because it's not really that. It's more like rock and roll. But dude, the kid can sing, he can write, and then he's getting ready. They're going on tour with Locked Up Mojo this summer. And I have a feeling we're going to be hearing a lot from Braden Stewart in the future. So Brandon's actually playing bass with him on that tour. But he actually stopped by our booth and played a few songs. So that was really cool. Yeah. That's cool. So very cool. And then last but not least, my new buddy, Denny Giosa. And I called him Hiosa for half the show. He finally corrected me.
He's like, hey, man, it's day 3. I gotta tell you something. But
in fairness, he was calling me Michael, so so we corrected each other, and everything was great. But Denny Giosa he's a jazz guy, and Thursday we're setting up. We kind of have our booth done, so I'm just kind of wandering around seeing what all there is to see at the show, and then I hear this like incredible tone coming from like the other side of the facility, and it's like, okay, where is it coming from? And who's playing that? And I'll walk over to it's Jimmy Wallace's booth, and Denny's sitting there playing. He's got this Heritage 535, and it just sounds so warm, and just the tone is just dripping off his fingers. So I go over there and I'm just like checking it out, checking his amp out. Like, what kind of amp is that? Guitar. And so we just strike up a conversation. He's like a super cool guy, like really easy going, really funny. And so we ended up hanging out, off and on through the whole show. We went and checked out the DUMBLE together. He came to our booth. So Denny's a great dude, and we're going to get out to Nashville one of these days. We're going to come see you, Denny. So get ready. Denny, fun note about Denny, he has the prototype, like number 001 of the PRS amp that became the John Mayer signature model. So that's like sitting in his studio in Nashville. Crazy. So when we make the trip out there, we're gonna check that bad boy out. I'm excited about that. So, man, so much fun.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. I'm coming down off of it. I keep looking back at like pictures and videos. I feel like Michael Scott in that episode where they break up with him, and he's just like, "Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend." He's like, "I just want to taste. I just want to taste." Like, just look. Just looking at pictures, like, I just want to taste it again.
Oh, man, so much fun. Much fun. So we will definitely be back. Dallas International Guitar Festival, 2026. Look out. Tone Nerds are going to be there. We're going to be representing again. And in the meantime, we may be hitting some other guitar shows up as well. So you guys stay tuned for those.
For all of you guys who stopped by the booth, it was awesome to meet you. It was nice to actually get to see the other side of this. It's like there's actually people on the other side of this camera. So thank you guys for tuning in. We've had a blast, and be sure to follow, like, subscribe, so that way you can check out all of our content.